It's the Hillbilly Review channel, and today I'm just going to give you brief reviews of hard rock bands. Same thing as usual. If you're going to subscribe, stay subscribed. If you're not going to stay subscribed, don't waste my time. Sorry, that's a pet peeve of mine. But anyway, my last brief review series, I did metal, and it was my most successful one. I got the most views, I got the most subscribers. So I'm going to do something that's similar but not quite the same. And I'm going to look at Digital Dream Door. They do a best of list of pretty much everything. And I'm going to do I'm going to look at their list of 100 best of the hard rock genre. Now, the hard rock is different from metal. Last time I did metal, there's a difference between hard rock and metal. Hard rock came before metal, and it's not as heavy. And anyway, so if there's a band there that's a metal band, and I don't mention it, that's why. All right, let's get started. They got Led Zeppelin as the #1 hard rock band. And as far as I'm concerned, that's a really good choice. I wouldn't put Led Zeppelin #1. I would probably put Led Zeppelin at #2. But Led Zeppelin, I mean, a lot of people consider them metal. I don't. I just did a video of Led Zeppelin, and it's doing okay. It got 90 some views, and I hope it gets more. But Led Zeppelin, obviously, they are one of the best, one of the hardest hard rock bands for sure. Obviously, Jimmy Page is one of the greatest. I think he's the second greatest guitar player of all time, in my opinion. Obviously, Led Zeppelin has to be near the top of the list, for sure. I agree. #2, the Jimi Hendrix Experience. Now, I consider Jimi Hendrix to be more of a psychedelic rock guy. I tell ya. But, yeah, he deserves to be on this list. Jimi Hendrix, obviously, Are You Experience, one of the greatest guitar albums of all time, no doubt about it. So they have him at #2. Anyway, he's a great guitar player for sure. He's not that great of a songwriter, but he's a great guitar player. No one sounded like him before he came along. Hey, you know. But #3, here is my personal pick for greatest hard rock band of all time. On this list, they have them at #3. It's The Who. I love The Who. They're my second favorite band, honestly. When it comes to just bands, now there's a solo artist that I would have ahead of them, but in my opinion, it's the Beatles and The Who, and that's #1 and 2. The Who, I mean, I played them when things were going bad in my life, and I don't know, there was just something about them. They just made you feel like you wanted to break free, you know? I love, Hi Yuri, but I love The Who. Pete Townshend's one of the greatest guitar players of all time. In my opinion, Keith Moon is the greatest drummer who ever lived. I mean, this guy, he had to be on ADD or something. This guy, he was like an octopus. He just, you know, I mean, no one played the drums faster than he did in his time. Why would you want, I don't, but man, I love The Who. Obviously, they did the first rock opera. And here's another thing about The Who that's really interesting. Peter Green is my #1. Peter Green is a great guitar player. It's a shame he went crazy. But the thing about The Who is they are the greatest live band of all time. And if you talk about metal being like, if you define genres by like how hard they are, honestly, to me, uh, hard rock is different than metal, not necessarily for being harder, although metal is typically heavier. But in my opinion, it's more of an aesthetic, more like an attitude. If you listen to The Who, thank you, IEDK. But if you listen to The Who live stuff, that stuff is heavier than Black Sabbath. I mean, live, not their studio stuff. Their studio stuff is completely different. But when you listen to them live, like Live at Leeds is the greatest live album of all time, period. And Live at the Isle of Wight is also a fantastic live album. But man, I love they are super heavy live, especially for their time. And Neil Peart, I'll get to that eventually. Thank you. Thanks for everyone who's subscribed. I appreciate it, guys. I'm not banning anyone. I don't know who you're talking about, but anyway. But man, to me, The Who is the greatest live band and the greatest hard rock band of all time. Okay, number 4 is AC/DC. Obviously, I mean, AC/DC, they've made the same album for 20 years and no one's got tired of it yet. So that's cool. I mean, I do dig me some AC/DC. I like the older stuff better, like the Bon Scott era, like from the 70s more. But Back in Black's overrated in my opinion. It's a good album, but to me, Power Ridge and Highway to Hell are their best albums. Eminem's not hard rock, but if you want to know what I think about Eminem, go to my channel and look at my Eminem video. I'd appreciate it since no one else did. But anyway, man, AC/DC's awesome. Angus is a great guitar player. I know they're just a 3-chord band, and I know they play, all their songs sound the same, but all their songs are good, so who cares, right? Number 5, Deep Purple. That's another band that's often considered heavy metal. Uh, any about 50 Cent? No, but I do have a thing about where I had a live stream where I talk about rappers. You can check that out if that's what you're interested in. But yeah, I love Deep Purple. And even though they're not metal, they are a big influence on metal, and especially speed metal and thrash. If it wasn't for Deep Purple, there would be no speed metal or thrash. And obviously, they played faster than any other band at the time. And Ian Gillan, man, that guy has one of the greatest voices of all time. What about Tupac? Yes, I got a Tupac video. Tupac's my favorite rapper. But man, I love Deep Purple. And Ian Gillan, I mean, he can hit notes that go up to the moon, man. If you ever hear a song called Child in Time, he just he does the chorus, and every time he goes higher and higher. I haven't done one on Biggie yet, but I plan on doing. I like Biggie a lot. What's your age, dude? I'm 37. Big Pun, never was a fan. I can't say I've never was a fan. I've never heard him. I'm more of a rock guy, but yes, I do like rap. Next is Aerosmith. Obviously, Aerosmith is a really awesome band. I definitely prefer their early stuff. I mean, like the 80s hair metal stuff isn't really for me, but the early stuff with like Toys in the Attic and Rocks, that was the good stuff. No doubt about it. And obviously, Steven Tyler's got a great voice. At number 7, they have Van Halen. What about Gorillaz? I do like the Gorillaz. I don't like them as much as Blur, which was lead singer's original band. Blur is a fantastic band. You really need to check them out. But yeah, I like Gorillaz. I like their older stuff, especially. Like their first 2 albums. My favorite rapper's Tupac. My top 3 rappers? Tupac, number 1. I know I'm going to get hate mail for this one. ICP, number 2. And number 3, probably, I don't know, maybe it's a tie basically between Snoop Dogg and the Bone Thugs, probably. And Biggie's probably number 3. Do you like Dallas Cowboys? No, I don't really follow football that much. Do you ever listen to Guns N' Roses? We'll get to them. But anyway, Van Halen, I will choose not to hold hair metal against them. I do not like hair metal. To me, watching a bunch of guys in drag just doesn't turn me on. But Van Halen, they were the original hair hair metal band, and a lot of times, even when they're a lot of times, even when there's crappy genres, usually the one that started the genre is good. Slipknot, I love Slipknot. We're not going to talk about them though, but in Rack Thompson, you can go fuck yourself. Yeah, Rack Thompson, you can go fuck yourself. I just see ya. Some guy was accusing me of being gay for some reason. I don't know. Anyway, I hate it when you put live streams out and haters come out just to fuck with you. But anyway, yes, I love Slipknot, but they're metal. Go to my other live stream, my brief reviews of metal bands, to see what I think about them. And I will do a video on them someday. Hi, country girl. Hi, we met, remember? I've met a lot of people. Oh, that guy. Yeah, that guy can go up. I am no tolerance policy today. All of you trolls, I'm sending you to hell. Or to timeout. But, anyway, where was I? Cream. Yes, I love Cream. That was Eric Clapton's greatest band. And there was only 3 guys in that band, but every one of them was the cream of the crop, and that's why they called themselves Cream. Eric Clapton's best guitar is on Cream, for sure. Guns N' Roses, someone mentioned them. They're on here. Here's the thing about Guns N' Roses. I like Guns N' Roses. I don't love Guns N' Roses. Obviously, Axl, he had incredible talent, but he was such a dick to work with that no one wanted to work with him. Slash was a really cool guy, the guitar player. Their first 2 albums were really good. After that, they kind of got a little self-indulgent for my taste, but they're decent. All right, Alice Cooper. I did a... Yes, country, I am okay. Thank you. Nice to see you again. But I did a video for Alice Cooper. You guys should check it out. I love Alice Cooper. He's obviously created shock rock, and he's the one who did it the best. I mean, not just a great singer, but just a great frontman, just a cool guy. Someone is doing a lot of spam. Please cut it out. But yes, Alice Cooper, if you want to know more in depth about how I feel about him, and he's one of my favorite singers, by the way, go to my channel and watch my Alice Cooper video. Queen. Queen is more glam rock. But yes, I do like Queen. I like their early... I mean, I like... their early stuff was actually hard rock. But they kind of morphed into an art rock / glam rock band. Obviously, Freddie Mercury was a great singer. Yes, and no one sounded like Queen. I mean, you combine opera and hard rock. I mean, no one else thought of doing that before, so that's really sweet. I'll say Messy. I don't know who either one of those 2 are, but Messy sounds better. Okay, Kiss. I did a video for Kiss. You guys should check that out. Kiss is a little overrated. I mean, they're not a great band. A lot of their mystique and everything comes from their stage image, which was a brilliant move. But I do like Kiss. I don't love Kiss. I'm not in the Kiss army, but I do like Kiss. And Ace Frehley just died. That's sad. But they are a great live band. Like, they're really fun to watch. But the actual music is just decent. Is just good for me. Not great, but still, they're a good band. When I put out my Kiss video, the funny thing was some people accused me of dissing them, and the other people accused me of being a hardcore fan, and I'm neither one. I'm somewhere in the middle. But anyway, Def Leppard. Def Leppard actually started out as a metal band, but then they kind of latched onto the hair band stuff. I do not like hair metal. I've already said that, but they're not... I don't really like them necessarily, but I do like some of their songs. I don't dislike them necessarily. They're just kind of, there. Photograph is a great song, though. least favorite rappers or top 3 least favorite. Um, I don't really know. I'm not familiar enough with the genre to say my least favorites. I think Nas is overrated. I mean, I don't think he's the genius that everyone else says he is. And let me think. Black Eyed Peas suck. I don't like them at all. Puff Daddy, ugh, or P Diddy, that's got to be up there. I don't listen to P Diddy, but I know he's a pedo, so I can't stand him. Okay, moving on. Rush. Here's the thing about Rush. As far as instrumentals goes, they have elite chops. As far as me listening to them, don't like them at all. I can't stand their philosophy. I hate all that Ayn Rand bullshit that they stick all through their music. I can't stand their philosophy. Neil Peart's a great drummer, but he's a pretentious dick in my opinion. And I cannot stand Geddy Lee's voice. I mean, he sounds like a elf in drag or something. I hate his voice. But yes, if they didn't sing, I would probably like them a lot more because their instrumentals are beyond reproach. I just cannot stand the singing or the philosophy. I am from Missouri. And yes, I know I have a thick accent. That's why I call this channel the Hillbilly Review Channel. I'm not a hillbilly myself, but I sound like one, so that's what I called the channel. Motley Crue, cannot stand them. Don't like hair metal. ZZ Top, they are not hard rock. Well, they are hard for a southern rock band, but I don't consider them a hard rock band. Do I support Palestine? I don't, but I also... No, I'm not blind. I just wear this because I don't like how I look on camera. I don't... I'm very isolationist in my foreign policy. As far as... I don't think we should be involving ourselves with other people's problems. And my philosophy is if they're not marching on your capital, don't waste time. Hi, Pingo. Do you support Palestine? I already said that. Anyway, moving on. ZZ Top is hard for a southern rock band, but they're not hard rock, but I do like ZZ Top. Definitely some great guitar chops. Oh, Josh, you got cancer, my man? That's a shame. I'm sorry about that, buddy. I hate to hear that. My aunt died of cancer, and I lost a friend to cancer, so that sucks. Okay, Bon Jovi, like I said, they do have a few songs I like, but I don't like hair metal. Heart. Now that's basically Led Zeppelin with 2 chicks. They're pretty cool. I like Heart. Do you play Clash? I'm afraid I don't. Yes, everybody, if you pray for Josh. He's going through something. Thin Lizzy, that's a cool band from Ireland. They're a pretty cool band. I like them. Scorpions, that's more hair metal. Boston's a cool band. You guys like Boston? Their first album was basically a greatest hits album. And unfortunately, the lead singer committed suicide. But they were a really cool band. If you just listen to classic rock radio and you'll hear all the songs on their first album. So they're overplayed, but they're cool. Do you support Israel? I support Israel more than I support Palestine, if that's what you mean. That's not really my fight. But yeah. Scorpions, I think they are hair metal, but no offense. But that's alright. Alright, moving on. Cheap Trick, they're decent. The Jeff Beck Group. Yeah, I know. That's why they got what was coming. I'm not going to go over that, but I understand why you feel that way, for sure. Where was I? Jeff Beck group. I don't. Jeff Beck is one of the greatest guitar players of all time, for sure. Just a fantastic guitar player. Now, I don't like his early band stuff as much, but I do like his later fusions. Like the stuff with Rod Stewart, it's not really my favorite. It's okay, but it's not really my favorite from him. My favorite from him is when he was with the Yardbirds, but other than that, his like Blow by Blow and Wired, the old fusion, the jazz fusion records, those are awesome. What's your favorite song? I can tell you like Trump. You got that good energy, bro. I do like Trump. My favorite song is Strawberry Fields Forever by the Beatles. But are you referring to a specific band? All right, anyway. But yeah, Jeff Beck, he's a guitar god. Blue Oyster Cult, they're a little overrated, but they're decent. Same with Steppenwolf. And same with Grand Funk Railroad, yeah. If you could ever go to any place in history, where would you go? I would go to. Don't like his wife, Erica. You mean, do you mean Melania Pingu? Oh, Charlie. Yeah, R.I.P. Charlie Kirk. His wife's hot, man. I don't know why you don't like her. She's smoking. But anyway, where was I? God, I got thrown off a topic. Where was I, guys? Remind me. I was going to say something deep and profound, but I got lost. All right, Rainbow, obviously, that was Dio. That was Dio's band. You see, the guy from Deep Purple, he got sick of Deep Purple, so he started a new band, and Dio was his singer. The Rainbow stuff with Dio was really cool. The other stuff, not so much. Like the poppy stuff. Yes, Ronnie James Dio, the guy who invented the devil horns. Talking about trans, my God. The last time I did a live stream, everyone just kept talking about trans stuff, and I'm like, I was not talking about trans stuff. Why are you guys bringing that shit up? I mean, if you are trans, no offense or nothing, but I don't really. Some guy just came up here and wanted to accuse me of being trans for some reason, which I'm not, by the way. Yes, Ozzy was a legend, no doubt about it. Bad Company, that's a good band. Foreigner. Here's the thing about Foreigner. I don't like their music, but the lead singer is such a classy guy that I can't help but kind of like them anyway, even though I don't really like their music. Their kids, they do it on every channel. Yeah. Where is das? Where are you? Is that what that means in German, Tom Daniel? I gave money to the homeless to buy them. Favorite video games? My favorite video game is Mario Kart 64. My second favorite is the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie game. My third favorite is Pac-Man. What's your song? Okay. Free, they're okay. They're not really one of my favorites. Ted Nugent, thank you, Pingo. Ted Nugent, he's a cool guy. I know if you're a Democrat or a left wing guy, you hate Ted Nugent, and I understand why you hate Ted Nugent. But I'm a right wing guy, and I love Ted Nugent. He's a really good guitar player, also. I do like his early stuff with the Amboy Dukes. Believe it or not, he's really anti-drug, but he came up in a psychedelic band. Yeah, go figure. But yeah, and Stranglehold, that is a freaking awesome song by Ted Nugent. The Motor City Madman. Here's another, yes, Stranglehold is my favorite, for sure. What could be better? Or Electric Power. I'd say Electric. I don't really care. It's not my problem. They have another Southern rock band here, Leonard Skinner, and I guess they are heavy on the Southern rock end. But I don't consider Leonard Skinner a hard rock band, but I do like them. Leonard Skinner's a good band for sure. The Black Crows, they're interesting because they're a modern band that was doing hard rock when hard rock was basically extinct. But I'm not a huge fan of their music, but they're okay. You been to Utah? No, I haven't, but it's a great state. Um, Neil Young. Here's the thing about Neil Young. Objectively, he's good, but I hate him. For the same reason that people hate Ted Nugent, I do not like his politics. I like Ted Nugent's politics. I don't like Neil Young's politics. But anyway, Journey. Everybody loves Journey, don't they? Except for critics. Critics hate Journey, but I love me some Journey. That guy, he's got a great set of pipes, man. I mean, that guy can really rip. Okay, Slade, that was a glam rock band. They were decent. UFO was decent. Do you like Keir Starmer's politics? I don't know what Keir Starmer is. Kansas, they're not really a hard rock band. They're a prog band, but they're decent. I kind of like them. Jethro Tull is a guitarist in UK. I don't know what is Keir Starmer's politics. Is he left? Is he right? Ever seen any of the Predator movies? Yes, I did, Pedro. And I have a Predator video that you need to go check out because no one else did. Left-wingers, guitars. Well, if he's... I don't want to get into politics, but if he's a left-winger, then I'm not for him. That's all I'm going to say on that subject. I don't want to get into any deeper... I'm pretty much to the right of Francisco Franco, so... Thanks for telling me. Jethro Tull's not a hard rock band, but they are an awesome rock band for sure. And they got a flute player who's actually really good. Guitarist and politics go hand in hand. Oh, good. But come back when you're done with the video, Pedro. Iron Butterfly, they were awesome. Because they were... Anybody ever heard the song, "In a Gata da Vida, baby"? You know that song? That song's freaking awesome. That's their best song. They were a really hippy-dippy psychedelic band, but they also had some pretty heavy riffs. So, yeah, they are hard rock, and I love Iron Butterfly. They're a one-hit wonder, unfortunately, but I love them. Uriah Heep, that's another prog / hard rock band. They got a super high lead singer. I mean, his voice is super high. Not he. His voice is super high. He's not super high, although he may be super high. I don't know. Angela Rayner. I'm not familiar with her. She got kicked from the band, though. Vanilla Fudge. That was a cool band. They did... they basically took, like, covers, and they just made them heavy. So, that was a cool little thing they did. Uriah Heep was a good band, though, by the way. Pat Benatar, she's a good singer. That's one of them chicks, you know, hit me with your best shot. Yeah, she was pretty good. The Faces. I think they're referring to the Rod Stewart Faces. I'm a huge fan of the Small Faces, which was the original band. The Faces with Rod Stewart, they're all right. Meatloaf, Meatloaf, he was a cool dude. I mean, he had a great voice, and he was one of those fat guys, you know, but he was a big guy with a big voice. He reminded me a lot of Chris Farley as a singer, honestly. But yeah, Meatloaf, he's cool. Bad Out of Hell's an awesome album. Red Hot Chili Peppers are good. Hawkwind, Hawkwind was a early prog band that Lemmy from Motorhead was actually in before he started Motorhead. I couldn't find it, but I have to go since I'm going on vacation. Just look at my channel, man. Look at my... It's pretty easy to find. Just check it out. Just look. It won't take you long. Okay. See ya, Pedro. Bachman Turner Overdrive, they're cool. Blue Cheer is cool. They're another band that some people consider metal. I don't, but some people do. Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, she's alright. White Snake, that is hair metal, not really for me. CCR is an awesome band, for sure. I dig me some Southern rock. They have Styx here. I guess their early stuff is a little heavy. I don't really consider Styx a hard rock band, but they're decent. Foghat's decent. Wishbone Ash, I have heard them, but I'm just going by their list, by the way. That's where I'm getting these numbers. Not a big Skillet fan, but I have a question. Rala, yeah, what's your question? The Cult was a good band. Uriah Heep, yeah, Uriah Heep was a good band, for sure. Even though the singer sung a little too high for my taste. Quiet Riot, I like a couple of their songs. Obviously, Randy Rhoads came in from Quiet Riot before going to Ozzy. And I need advice on what to do and what not to do. Well, as you can see, I don't have any piercings, so I'm not really the guy to ask, but I don't, honestly, there's a lot of people that are weenies that get ear piercings, so I'm sure it doesn't look that bad. Humble Pie, they were okay. Poison, don't like hair metal. The Sweet was a good band. Nazareth is a band that kind of has a bad reputation because they're known for that cheesy power ballad, Love Hurts, which sucks. But that was a Black Sheep hit. That was not their usual stuff. Their usual stuff is good. That song, however, sucks. The Runaways, that was a band that Joan Jett was in before she went solo. They were the first hard rock chick band. They were decent. The movie about them's pretty cool. Mountain is a decent a decent band. REO Speedwagon, never was a fan of theirs. Billy Idol's cool, though. You would have to twist it once a day so it won't fuse to the earring. Maybe that's true. I don't know. But Billy Idol, he's awesome. He started out in a punk band, and but he was cool because he has like a Jim Morrison voice. He kind of mixed like new wave with hard rock. He was cool. Status Quo, I do know them, but I haven't heard them in so long I can't really recall them that much. The James Gang, that was a cool band. That was kind of a southern rocky hard rock band. Dokken, that was a hair band. The Darkness, anyone remember The Darkness? They were a band that came out in 2004, and they had a song, I Believe in a Thing Called Love. Yes, I've listened to Slipknot. Who hasn't? I love Slipknot, by the way. I liked them before they got popular. Wait and Bleed was mine. Was my gateway song. But The Darkness, they had a guy who tried to sound like Freddie Mercury, so they kind of had a hair metal mix with Queen style. They didn't last long because the singer was so high on drugs he couldn't function, but that first album was really cool. The Rockets, never heard of them. The Offspring, they're okay. I like a few. There's a few of their songs that I just absolutely love, but as far as a band, they're just decent, I guess. Here's the thing about Kid Rock. I don't like his music, but he's a cool guy and I like him. There is a couple of his songs I like, though. Loverboy. I've only heard one of their songs. Wasp. That's another hair band. 38 Special. They're okay. The Guess Who was a cool band. They were a Canadian hard rock band. Green Day. Green Day. Here, I got mixed feelings about that band. When I was a kid, they were my target audience, man. I've never seen Delilah. But when I was a kid, I was a teen angst and all that. Like Ducky, I love Ducky. I like Insomniac. I like Nimrod. But here's the thing. I hate American Idiot. And ever since they got political, I just can't stand them. I like the Eagles. They are a little overrated and they're certainly overplayed, but I do like the Eagles. They're my mom's favorite band, by the way. Skid Row, that's another hair band. Susie Quattro, she was a hot chick that played hard rock. She was cool. Tesla. Joe Satriani, he was a guitar god type guy. I like his early stuff. His early stuff was pretty cool. Europe, I think they did the Final Countdown, but that's the only song of theirs that I know. 10 Years After, I haven't heard them in ages. Atomic Rooster. Anyone ever heard of Atomic Rooster? They were a heavy psychedelic. Were they psychedelic? Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were. No, they were a heavy prog band. But yeah, Atomic Rooster. Terrible name, but good band. My favorite. Your favorites, Metallica. Thank you, G. I can't pronounce it. Thanks for subscribing and all that. Metallica. To me, Metallica is the greatest metal band. And granted, I'm not a huge fan of their middle stuff, like from Black Album to Saint Anger. I'm not a huge fan of, but Saint Anger was an awesome album. I know everyone hates it except for me, but I will carry that torch forever. But like the Black Album and Load, that stuff don't turn me on. But their early thrash stuff, like Ride the Lightning and Justice for All, Master of Puppets, you can't beat that shit. King's X, they're decent. Twisted Sister, like I said, not a huge fan of dudes in spandex. Sammy Hagar. Here's the funny thing about Sammy Hagar is he's a good singer, but I don't like any of his music, if that makes sense. I just really do not like the Van Halen stuff with him, and I don't think it was his fault necessarily, because his vocals are good, but after David Lee Roth, they just lost it. Bad Brains, I do not like hardcore punk, so I don't know, but Bad Brains would be the band, the hardcore punk I would get into if I did like hardcore punk. Survivor's a good band. They did the Rocky song. It's the Eye of the Tiger. You know that song when Mr. T's beating the shit out of Rocky, and then he hears Eye of the Tiger, and then all of a sudden he gets his second wind, his eyes popping out of his head. Then he comes back and knocks Mr. T flat. Awesome. Robert Plant, the lead singer of Led Zeppelin, he does have a solo career, but his solo career is not really hard rock. But yes, Robert Plant's a fantastic singer. No doubt about that. Billy Squier's okay. They got a ton of bands here. They got all the way down to 200, and then they got honorable mentions. And by the way, hard rock is one of my favorite genres. But I do love hard metal music. I love metal. I mean, if you're an angry, sad person, you gotta love metal. You know what I'm saying? All right. Now we're going into the 100 to 200, so. Molly Hatchet, they were a decent little southern rock band. Tool and Megadeth all day, every day. Well, I agree with you on Megadeth. I can't say the same for Tool. Yes, I do like Boston Honky Kong. Striper, they were a Christian hair metal band, and I never actually listened to them. Wolfmother, they're okay. Okay. Alright. Steve Vai, I have heard him, but I'm not hugely familiar. Argent, he's not, that's a prog band. Some of these bands aren't really hard rock, I'm afraid. Ace Frehley, obviously, Ace was the guitar player for Kiss, and he had a solo career. In fact, he was the only one who had a successful solo career. Ace, he was by far the talent in Kiss as far as instrumentals. He was a great guitar player. Unfortunately, he had a stroke, and I think he just died recently, unfortunately. Tenacious D, that's Jack Black's band. You know, I'm a big Jack Black fan. I think he's hilarious, but I do not like his music as much as I thought I would. I mean, it's not bad music, but it's just okay for me. The Pick of Destiny, though, that song's awesome. And the movie's cool, too. Moving on. Bob Seger's not hard rock, but I do like him. All right. Greta Van Fleet. They are a modern band that they're a cool band because they're like a 70s throwback band, but they're playing modern music. And they remind me a lot of what Led Zeppelin would sound like if they played in the modern day. Greta Van Fleet's a cool band. Before he passed, and ever since I keep it because I keep, yeah. Yeah, you hold on to your treasures, man. Okay, Chickenfoot. That's Sammy Hagar's band. Andrew WK. I don't consider him hard rock. To me, he's alternative metal, but he's got a couple. He's a really cool guy, and he's got a couple of songs I like a lot. Hold on a second. And I thought I heard something. Anyway, sorry about that. All right, moving on. Right, arcade. We're probably going to go to TV Tropes to get some more. There's a lot more hard rock bands than that. Okay. Anyone got any questions? I'd love to hear them. We're going to look at TV Tropes here. All right, TV Tropes. That's a cool site. You guys need to check it out. All right. Hard rock is basically extinct today, unfortunately. There's not a lot of new bands. Greta Van Fleet is one notable exception. But hard rock, I love hard rock. All right. Let's see if there's any bands here that didn't get mentioned on there. They got something called the Black Veiled Brides. Anyone heard of that? That sounds like some throwback to hair metal. It doesn't look like something I'd be interested in. All right. Anybody else got any selections? Anything you want to know my opinion on, or any questions? I'm here for you guys, so just let me hear it. Greta Van Fleet. Not having much luck, actually. Surely there's more hard rock bands than that. The first hard rock song was "You Really Got Me" by the Kinks. But they didn't really start making hard rock until later. All right, moving on. Europe. Sorry about this. I'm just looking through here and seeing if there's any that we didn't see. Jet, they're not that great. Loverboy, I better check them out. I do like that one song of theirs that's a hit. I'll check it out someday. A lot of the hair bands are actually not metal. They're actually hard rock. But anybody got any questions? Scorpion, Bob Seger. No, it looks like that's it, guys. Sorry about that. It didn't last near as long as I thought it would. Does anybody got any questions for me? I'd love to hear them. Like what my favorite hard rock band is or anything? Obviously, if you saw at the beginning, you saw that it's The Who. The Who is my favorite hard rock band, and Led Zeppelin is number 2. Well, I guess that's it, guys. See you later on the Hillbilly Review channel.